Hi, this is David Wright, and you're listening to WICR.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning mix with me, Ian Sachs, flying solo today as Big Shot Robert Buncardo could not be joining me this morning as he has a phone interview. So we wish Robert the best of luck there. But anyway, for all of you listeners out there, I guess that means that you are stuck with me for the hour. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but it is what it is. So I am here, and I've got a busy basketball morning ahead for us, and I'm going to kick it right off with last night. San Antonio Spurs head coach Greg Popovich won his 1,000th career win. He claimed his 1,000th career win. And I think Coach Popovich will certainly go down in history as one of the best NBA coaches of all time. And so, with that, the Spurs claimed a 95-93 win over the Indiana Pacers. So a big win there as Coach Popovich joins the 1,000 win club. And, with this milestone, I think it's fitting that we spend the first segment here going over my top 5 greatest NBA coaches of all time. Well, right there we have one of them, Greg Popovich, without a doubt. Pop over, now 1,000 wins in his career, and basically he's been a model of consistency since joining the San Antonio bench. He's 1,000 wins, 462 losses for a 684 winning percentage. They finished over 500 every single year that he's been on the bench. He's been at least 10 games over 500 in all but one of those, in all but one of those seasons that he did finish over 500. The only year he didn't finish over 500 was his very first season, in which the Spurs went 17-47, but then they got the number 1 draft pick, and it happened to be a man by the name of Tim Duncan. And I think he's had a little bit of a storied career there in San Antonio. But Popovich, I mean, the record speaks for itself. The Spurs have dominated the Western Conference over the last 15, 20 years. Of course, with the Los Angeles Lakers, but really, Popovich, the model of consistency, 5 NBA championships, 6 NBA Finals appearances, one defensive rebound away from being 6-0 in the finals and having 6 rings, but still, the Spurs, even as they are getting older and starting to maybe slow down, he's still leading that team to great heights. I mean, last year with a 656 winning percentage, 62-20 in the regular season. I mean, that was the team's best mark since 2006. So Popovich leading 2012, when they went 50-16 in the lockout-shortened season, but then getting upset in the playoffs by losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. But still, Popovich has had a remarkable run there with the Spurs. All 1,000 of his wins coming with San Antonio. I believe he's one of only 2 coaches to have 1,000 wins with one team. I think the other one is Jerry Sloan, who is another member of my NBA coaching Mount Rushmore, my top 5. Jerry Sloan leading the Utah Jazz for several years, over 22 years, and yes, he never won an NBA championship, but he did guide the Jazz to 2 NBA Finals, and in which they were defeated by Michael Jordan both years in 1997 and 98, and really Sloan taking that small market club with John Stockton and Karl Malone all the way to the finals. Just a very excellent job that he did there, and I think you see with him the job security and the length of his tenure in Utah demonstrates why he is in my top 5. The coaching at any level, any sport, is a very fickle career, but with Sloan, you always knew that he was going to be on the Utah bench, and really when he retired in the middle of the I believe 2011 season, I want to say, it took a little while to get used to seeing someone else leading the Jazz. He was just such a model of consistency, as is Popovich, and again, the length of his tenure and the ability to have several good teams over the course of that time illustrates why he is among the top 5 coaches. Now, he is the only coach in my top 5 that has never won a championship. There sure are several other very qualified coaches who did get to the pinnacle, but I think that Sloan, when you look at the length of his tenure with the Jazz and his winning percentage there, 1,221 wins, 803 losses, but still with that small market club, what he did do there it really speaks for itself. Now, my other 3 coaches are all legendary. We'll start off with, I guess, Pat Riley. Pat Riley has taken several organizations all the way to the finals, starting off with the Los Angeles Lakers and Showtime with Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 1980s, leading them to several championships. Pat Riley, always a fun guy to follow and everything, and then coming to the New York Knicks in the 90s, leading them to the finals in 1994, where they were defeated by the Houston Rockets. But even though he couldn't and didn't claim a championship with Patrick Ewing, still taking the Knicks team to the finals really shows that he can build a good team in New York. And then, of course, going down to Miami, winning the 2006 NBA championship with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. And then, of course, moving over from head coach into a front office position and getting the Big 3 era in Miami and being a consultant and president and all sorts of different roles during the LeBron James era there as the Heat won 2 championships, giving Pat Riley his 6th and 7th rings in any capacity in basketball. And with Riley, just the ability to get different players to play in his system, it really was amazing. I mean, you had the flashy Showtime Lakers who like to run and gun up and down, and then you had, more of a slow game with Patrick Ewing, like to play more of a half court, grinded out game. And then, of course, you see a really nice mix of that in Miami when you bring in Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal for the 2006 championship. So really, Riley, the way that he's won with so many different players. Now, granted, those are several Hall of Famers that he's coached and been involved with during these championship runs, but still, just the fact that he has won in so many different places illustrates why he is one of the best coaches in NBA history. And then, 1,200 wins, 1,210 wins, and 694 losses. 63.4 winning percentage. The guy, whatever he does, he wins. I've compared Pat Riley to Bill Parcells in the NFL. Most of his career a head coach and taking several teams to success. And, with Parcells, it was winning 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, then going to the Jets, going to the Patriots from there, and leading them to the Super Bowl, then coming to the Jets, doing well with them, going to the Dallas Cowboys and having success there, and then finally with the Miami Dolphins and leading them from a 1-15 season to 11-5 division champions in 1 year. Parcells in the front office there, so both Parcells and Riley having coaching jobs, success there, and then in the final stages of their career having front office positions and guiding teams to championships. I think, just Riley's success in all of his stops illustrates why he is on my Mount Rushmore for NBA coaches. Then, of course, now we have to get talking championships, and you got to go with the 2 coaches who have the most championships of any coaches in NBA history, and of course that would be Red Auerbach and Phil Jackson. We'll start off with Red Auerbach, the legendary coach of the Boston Celtics, with Bill Russell, of course, claiming 9 championships in 11 seasons. And, Auerbach's, of course, he had one of the 5 greatest players of all time on his team, but still just being able to manage the success and really several players and professional athletes have said the difficult part is not so much getting to the top, it's staying at the top. When you're, the defending champion, everybody's giving you their best shot night in and night out. And to continue to have success against that, Auerbach, the Celtics in that time period in the 50s and 60s with Bill Russell and all of those great players, they just, going into every game, they thought that they would win every single game. And just the level of success that they did have is really something quite special. And then, of course, you have to go with the king of coaching championships, and that would be none other than Phil Jackson, the Zen Master, 11 championships as a head coach, 11 rings, hence the title of his book. And Jackson, career 1,155 wins, 485 losses, a 70.4 winning percentage. The guy comes in to the Chicago Bulls. They have Michael Jordan. They get Scottie Pippen. And, Doug Collins led the team to the playoffs, but they could not get over the hump of defeating the Detroit Pistons. Phil Jackson comes in, and he gets how to manage the great players that he has. Everyone can say, oh, well, sure, he had Jordan and Pippen with the Bulls, won 6 championships with them. Then he goes to the Lakers, has Shaq and Kobe, wins 3 there. Then comes back to the Lakers, still has Kobe, gets Pau Gasol, they win another 2 championships. He has great players. Of course he's going to win. But you know what? The thing is, to have success in the NBA, and really in all sports, it's not so much as having great players. It's managing the players that you do have. And Phil Jackson did that better than anybody else in the NBA. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, it would have been so easy for Scottie Pippen, who probably would have been the best player on just about any other NBA team, to get him to buy into the system, to say, you know what, I'm going to be the second best player on this team. Then to get all the role players to understand their position on the court and what they have to do in order for the team to be successful. They know that they're playing alongside Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And so, to have guys who know, okay, my role, like Steve Kerr, my role, come in, shoot threes. That's what I'm going to do to enable to help the team be successful. Then Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman understood that he's not going to score every night. He's going to be more of a defensive, rebounding threat. And then, having point guards in John Paxson and getting them to buy into the system and running the triangle offense so effectively that really it has become a model for so many other people to follow, and it just makes so much sense that in order to space the floor, you run you run a system based on triangles and spacing, and eventually the open shot will come. And in order to get players of the caliber and of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, to understand that they have to play in a system in which they, look to pass the ball, and eventually the shot will open up, instead of just saying, here you go, Michael, Michael Jordan, you take the ball, do what you want, and boom, let's see what happens. Instead of doing that, to get the players to buy into the system. The same with Kobe Bryant. I mean, Kobe didn't want to buy into the system right away. He does. Lakers start winning. And so we see that, and Kobe Bryant, has gotten so much respect for Phil Jackson that, with his track record and success in previous years, you see why Kobe Bryant did buy in, because he knows the masterful tactician that Phil Jackson is, that, he buys into the system, and when other coaches have come and coached the Lakers, Kobe hasn't been so successful. So you could say, yeah, well, Phil Jackson had Kobe Bryant, yes, but so have a lot of other coaches, and they haven't won with Kobe. The reason is that Phil Jackson manages his players so well and knows exactly what buttons to push at what time, And that's why Phil Jackson is, I believe, the greatest coach in NBA history with 11 championships, a 700 winning percentage, and, he had great players, but if he doesn't manage them so well, the Bulls and the Lakers don't come away with those championships over the last 20, 25 years. So that wraps up the segment, recapping with my top 5 NBA coaches. You have Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach, Pat Riley, Jerry Sloan, and Greg Popovich, who joined the 1,000 win club last night as the San Antonio Spurs defeated the Indiana Pacers 95-93. So with that, I will take a quick break and come back on the other side and stay with some coaching legends.
Iona College's highly accredited graduate programs empower students to earn degrees that command respect in the real world. Start your career path today or change direction towards a new profession. Iona's expert academic advisors and top graduate